that I belong to Tirunelveli. Ilanji is my native place, which is hardly 3 kilometers from Kutralam. I still can never forget the breeze, 3 kilometer gentle walk to Kutralam Falls, and the wonderful times we had in Ilanji. Those things you will never get it here, whatever money you earn, whatever happens. But one thing I wanted to tell you is my association with IDA. It is just a little nostalgic whenever IDA calls me. This is a photograph taken in 1991 when I was the secretary of Chennai branch. LT Ishwaran was the president of Chennai branch. This is the state conference, city conference in Trident Hotel in 1971, 91. Same way, a little more nostalgic. Some of you would have studied with me, little seniors, little juniors. This photograph was taken in 1975 when I joined BDS, and in the terrace of the Madras Dental College old building. You might know Udayaraja, Sainath, Ilango, Vatalagundu from Bala from Vatalagundu, and Sampath. We took this photograph in 1975. Why I put this photograph is, this is how we were all. We never bothered. We just joined BDS. Just did it on our own without really being serious about the whole thing. And then something happened when I met one of my classmates about 35 years later, Dr. S.B. Ramesh. He told me, Kandaswamy, I hear a lot about you. Is it true? I said, what is that you heard? No, they tell me you are intelligent, very knowledgeable. படிக்கும்போது நல்லா தானப்பா இருந்த. So, at that time, people have to understand that from this level, sometimes you change and move on to the next level. In fact, I quoted this in one of our alumni meetings. I said the advantage in attending an alumni meeting is the people, your classmates who thought you are no good, later on at that point when they meet you and see what position you are holding, they realize that you have changed and come a long way. I even used to say jokingly, the girls whom we went behind in our college days, when you meet them during the alumni, two things happen. If they still look that beautiful, you think that you really missed it. If not, you are very happy, thank God you missed it. So it's wonderful and nice to be here today. So why did I choose this topic as time out? The time out is something that is an integral part of so many things. You go for a football match. After half time, they give a timeout. In between, they give a timeout. If it's a basketball, there is a timeout. Why do they give this timeout? Is it that they become tired? They cannot continue? No. The timeout is given for them to think what mistakes they made in that session, how to correct them. Move away from the game and look at it from outside, understand where you went wrong, and correct yourself. That is the purpose of timeout. Timeout is incorporated in everything, except probably in our specialty, in our dentistry. We don't have this concept of timeout. But in my life, I used to take a timeout every now and then, and it really helped me to change a lot of things. I remember a psychiatrist. She used to come to me for treatment. And one day she told me, I understand, Dr. Kandaswamy, that you are young, you want to come up very well in your profession, you work hard. But one thing what you forget is, you have two small children at home. By the time you reach home, they go to sleep. By the time you leave for the clinic, they are not even in. You hardly meet them. And she said, at this age, you are the hero to them. Little later, they develop their own friends. They don't need you. That time, you become an interference. So, whatever rapport you build up at this time is what that will hold on throughout the life. So, when I had a small break from the clinic, I was thinking, is it true? Does it mean that I should cut short my time and go home? What will happen to my patients? Because that is my bread and butter. I have to grow. Should I do that at the expense of my children? How important it is. We always have a fear that we alter something, patients will leave us. Somehow that fear has got into us. And then I realized, no, I'll give importance to the children. And I started closing my clinic at 8:30 to 9 o'clock. Nothing happened. Everybody who was supposed to leave me didn't leave. They stayed back. That's when I realized people come to you because they like you or they think you're good. That is the only equation you have with your patients. And you treat them because they pay you. In this, we need not be afraid that if my clinic working hours become lesser, I will lose my patients. In fact, nothing of that sort happens. They stick to you. After almost 36 years of practice, I can tell you, there are people who have been coming to me for the past 35 years, 34 years. And when I look at them only, I feel very old. Because the girls who have come, when they were in second standard and third standard, they bring their children who are in second and third standard now. So it's almost one generation I've seen. Nobody leaves you if they like you. So if you gain that confidence, first thing, whatever we do must be to our convenience. That's very important. I've seen a dentist who travels 40 plus 40, 80 kilometers to his work, to a college, a medical college. He comes back in the evening, goes for consultations. After finishing his consultation, he goes to his clinic. Then he goes home. I was thinking, he's almost, killing himself. Physically, everything. Why? Because money is a major criteria. We all think in an young age we must earn. There is nothing wrong in that. But how much we have earned, how much we have saved. Now you take this corona time. There is nil income for us from anywhere. Are we able to sustain ourselves? How many of us are able to do? Do we have enough money with us when we can tide over 2 to 3 months of not practicing, meeting all our other expenses, which doesn't stop? If you put this question to yourself, you will know that you've been running like mad. At the end of the day, what is the amount of money that is staying with you? Because we overreach ourselves. The EMIs, what you have to pay, that's more important. In fact, at one stage in my life, I bought one operating microscope. That was exactly 15 years back, when nobody in India thought of an operating microscope. And it costed about 3.5 lakhs. 15 years back is a lot of money. I took a loan, bought that equipment, and then I bought a car, a CLO car. At that time, that was the costliest car in India, which costed me about 6 lakhs. With these two loans together, my income from government was lesser than what I was repaying for the car. In fact, added to that, the microscope, it really started choking me. That is when you realize what it is. Because if you miss 2 EMIs, then you are finished. Because it adds up. Then you have to take another loan to meet this loan, and then you keep going in circles. In 2004, when I left government service, I closed all the loans and took a decision. No more loans in my life. And from 2004 till now, I have not taken any loan. What is the minus side? I still don't own a BMW or a Mercedes Benz because I can't afford them without a loan. But what is the plus side? If I don't earn one paise today, I owe nobody anything. That is a peace of mind. And after that decision, money started staying with me. Instead of giving it to the bank, instead of paying the interest, instead of everything. So always make sure you don't over exceed your potential. You take too many loans and then you find it difficult because things won't go as smoothly as always. Who expected Corona to come? It came suddenly. Everybody said stop practicing. Everybody said don't no consultations. Okay, but you have to pay your clinic staff, you have to pay your driver, you have to pay everybody. Nothing stops. Where is the money? So please ask yourself, where do you stand with all your hard work? Keep some money in your hand. Make sure whatever loans you take are within your means. You can grow slowly, nothing wrong. There is a huge lifetime. But this is my 35th, 36th year in private practice. Hell of a long time to grow. No problem. Ultimately, you can reach wherever you want. So, please, if when you take a loan, I'm not saying don't take a loan. When you take a loan, make sure at least if something goes wrong, 3 months of EMI you will be able to pay from your pocket. This is very, very, very important because otherwise it can pull you down. Right. Next, small things, what I've learned in practice. I always used to have this problem of magazines in the clinic. I'll forget to change them. And there is one patient who will always embarrass me that every time he comes, he'll bring some new magazines, put it there and take the old ones and go. So somebody told me, sir, you have to have a class. Buy the best magazine. So I went and bought all these travelers, that imported magazines. But one problem came with them. Everybody was asking my receptionist, can I take this and go? I'll bring it the next time I come. When they say no, they don't, no, you ask doctor. It becomes an embarrassment for you because neither can you say no, nor invariably the book never comes back. Then slowly I thought, I bought these bound books of all these kid stories. I used to buy about 10 or 15 of them in this book fair. And I found it'll be useful for the kids, but mostly read by the adults. And every year I keep changing it, there is no problem. Somewhere we have to look at every problem that is in the clinic and attend to it. That will happen only when you take a little time. So please take a little time out every now and then regarding everything. You have to touch the pause button. This pause button is very useful in practice. In the initial days of our practice, root canal was not very popular. When we suggest the treatment to the patient, we'll explain the whole procedure to them, everything, tell the cost. They'll say, no, doctor, you remove it. They'll go outside and say, nah, this doctor is telling, do this, do that, instead of not removing the tooth. And then somebody will come with the idea of saving the tooth. But if you tell them remove, they'll say, whenever you go to that fellow, he says remove the teeth. So how to handle this? Then I realized this pause. So I'll tell the patient, this tooth is so bad. If you remove, No, 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 doctor, I don't want the tooth to be removed. Can't you save it? Yes, yes, we can save it. There is a treatment called root canal treatment. You explain everything. Otherwise, they'll say, doctor, yes, doctor, you remove it. What is the point? I think it's quite bad. No, yes, yes, it's very bad. So make the patient commit. It's a lot easier. This pass is something I've always learned. And never sit down and explain to a patient why you are charging so much. Sometimes patients will say, doctor, your charges seems to be very high. I found one simple solution to that. I'll give one stupid grin. God only knows what it means, but the argument ends. Because we can't be sitting and explaining everything to everybody. So the pause button helps. And somebody asked me, doctor, you've been in practice for more than 30 years. Did you ever felt bored that I have to go to the clinic? That. I said, off late a little bit. But how did you manage all these years? I said, every few years, either I'll buy a new equipment or learn a new technology so that it keeps my childlike enthusiasm going. That is a trick. If you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, then it becomes so monotonous and so boring. So when I bought the microscope, I was seeing things which I never thought I could see. And half of them I didn't know what I'm seeing because there was nobody to guide you also. You are the only one having it and you have to learn yourself. So every few years, either buy a new equipment or a new technology and then introduce it in your practice. That's the best way to keep your interest sustained. And I have already talked about this depth because it shouldn't grow over a certain level so that it makes you go down. It's very, very, very important. And there are so many things which my wife taught me in financial planning. And I always think they are the best person to leave it to. When my son joined BDS, I had to pay a fees of 2.5 lakhs every year. So the first year I was scrounging money here, there, everything. And finally I managed. Then she asked me, are you going to do that every year? Will you be doing this? I said, why you are asking? No, you do one thing. Give me 20,000 rupees every month. Said I'll put an RD. And at the end of the year, I'll give you 2.5 lakhs. You don't have to ask anybody. You don't have to get tensed. And it went so smoothly. I never realized that we paid the money for him. So always anticipated known expenses plan. That's very, 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 very important. Once that happens, it's a lot easier that way. And about the wife, I wanted to say, initially in our younger days, when we get married, wife is a real, very interesting personality, and marriage itself is interesting. And as days go by, a lot of things happen in between. But at my age, I'll tell you something. Only when you come to this level, you will understand the importance of a wife. Because nothing moves without a wife. One day in this corona, you sit down and watch your wife. The number of things she does. Without her, nothing can happen in that household. In fact, she used to manage things so well. When my second son was in his second year BDS, he asked her one question. Mom, what is your take on social drinking? I was thinking, what is that she's going to answer? Because it was an interesting question. If it has been put to me, I really didn't have a clue what to answer. She told him, are you asking because you want to start? Maybe. He said, there is nothing wrong in social drinking. But maybe this is not the age to start because you can't differentiate between social drinking and getting into drinking habit. Maybe a little later in your life when you can take your decision on this. A very wonderful answer, I still think. These things only they can handle. They know the children better. And if they give you any complaint about children, please listen. In my college in Ramchandra, when I was working there, I used to tell the mothers, you are the first one who will know if something is going wrong with your children. Neither the father, nor the teacher, nor the friends, nobody else. But you can never cheat the mother. The minute you tell a lie to your mother, she'll know that the child is lying. So always listen to her as a mother, as a financial advisor, and it's wonderful. I've been living with this lady for the past 35 years. Not that we don't fight, not that we don't have our differences, but can I think of a day without this lady in my life? I'm sorry, I don't think so. So, this Corona's time, look at what she's doing and look at what all she has done, and you will know the importance of this lady. So that next time you will know how to allot some time to her. I used to say, if you are youngsters, one day cut your clinic and suddenly go home and surprise your wife by buying a few tickets for a movie. What is wrong? We think that clinic is very important. It can't run without you. I know one dentist in T Nagar. He used to walk into his waiting room, which will be full at 5:30 in the evening, and he'll say, "Gentlemen, today there is no clinic. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow." He had the guts to say it. It's not an easy thing, but he will just simply say it and go away. And everybody will come back the next day. That is the greatness of that man. So like that, every now and then, surprise them. Why should we wait for Corona to say, please stop practicing, take care of the family, or take care of this? You do it on your own. It's not that every day you have to make money. Nothing wrong if one day you don't. So surprise, give surprises. Take care of your children by just simply taking off from the clinic. Every now and then, there is nothing wrong. So please remember that. The last one I want to highlight is about my experience with a meditation called Vipassana. I went into this almost about 9 to 10 years back because at that time I was a smoker. I wanted to quit smoking, so I went and joined. This is an in-house meditation where you go and join, stay there for 10 days, and in this 10 days, there is a noble silence. You can't talk to anybody. Morning, they'll wake you up at 4 o'clock with a bell. The breakfast is at 5 o'clock. You have to take bath with the cold water. 5:30, you have to sit with a meditation. 12 o'clock is the lunch. 5 o'clock is the dinner. Everything will be ulta. You'll go mad. First 3 days, you will feel like killing everybody. But if you cross the third day, it becomes a little easier to go through that. And at the end of the 10th day, I stopped smoking. That is one major advantage. But what did I learn from this Vipassana? This 10 days of time out from everything. So my wife came to pick me up on the 10th day. So I was thinking, I don't know how many problems were there at home in 10 days when I'm not there. So I asked my wife, anything went wrong in the house? She said, no, why? No, 10 days I'm not there, no. Why? When you are not there, something should go wrong? No, I'm just there. Nothing went wrong. Everything is fine. Then I came to the clinic. I called my assistants. What happened in 10 days? What are all the problems? Come, tell me. Sir, no problem, sir. It went on like this, like this, like this. There was no problem. Then I thought, definitely, In Ramachandra Dental College, there should have been problem. The dean is not there for 10 days. I don't know how many problems they went through. So next day morning, I called my secretary. I said, what are all the problems you faced? Please tell me. Sir, there's no problem. Why should we have any problem? No, no. In 10 days when I'm not there, no, sir, everything was nice. Then I realized, நம்ம இல்லைன்னா ஒன்றும் குடிமுழுகி போயிடாது. That's a big realization when you know that nothing stops because you are not there. And I realized, they used to tell one story about a lizard on the roof. It seems the lizard will look at the roof and say, I am the one who's holding this roof. If I leave my hand, the roof will fall down. The roof won't fall down. It's a lizard which will fall down. So we all think, we are very important. Without us, nothing will move in this world. And everything revolves around us. No way. I will tell you, this world has seen Jesus Christ, Nabigal Nayagam, Krishna, Ramar, avatars of God. They all came. And at some point of time, they all left. This world simply moved on. It didn't stop because Krishna left. It didn't stop because Ramar left. It didn't stop because of Jesus left. It went on well. This world can do away with even God who have come here as avatars. Then where are we? So all that we are expected, it's not that every one of us should become avatars in this world to be somebody. No need. All that is expected out of us in our life is be happy and be helpful. That's all. And not everybody can become an Abdul Kalam, not everybody can. If you become one, good. But not that everybody can do that. Some people are born for that. Then what are the others, what we have to do? I have kept two things as a criteria in my life. In your life, how many days you are happy? And how many people did you make happy? If the answers to both is plenty, then it's a life, it's worth having lived. Thank you for your opportunity. I didn't want to bore you with the subject because a lot of people speak better than me. I only shared few of things what I've learned in my life, in my practice. Thank you for the Tirunelveli branch, for the opportunities what you have given. In fact, I left teaching about 8-9 months back. This is my first lecture after that. I am grateful because this is something which I really enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. As you rightly mentioned, pearls of wisdom. கொஞ்சம் கேட்டு இருந்தோம் நீங்க பேசுறதெல்லாம். If all people have doubts now, it would be more of how they are living a life than of professional questions.
Sure. I am willing to answer.
Can take some questions on patient management, or I don't know what you would like to.
No, whatever they want, I am willing to take, even if it is not connected to practice. No problem.
One thing about the importance of family was very heartwarming about
Your
how
audio is
your
not,
wife has stood by you all these
Dr.
days.
Johnson, your audio is not
And I
very
feel
clear to me.
1 second, sir.
Audio, yeah.
I'll just go through the chat and pick up some.
Yeah.
I have one question, sir. You have told about so can you about how your wife has stood by you. How about to manage children? Sir? It's being very difficult to manage children nowadays.
Yes, yes, yes.
They hardly.
Because I once listened to one Swamiji on television. The reporter asked him, "What is your take on generation gap?" He said, "There is no such thing as generation gap." "What, Swamiji, you are telling like this?" "No, I can demonstrate." He said, "How?" Swamiji said, "All of you keep your hand like this. When I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, everybody clap." So all of them kept like this. Swamiji said 1, 2, 3, clapped. And everybody clapped at 3. Swamiji said, "My instruction to all of you is clap when I say 5. But why did you clap at 3? Because you followed my action and not instruction." So he said, "Your children follow your action, not your instructions." So if they get angry, if they throw things, find out from where it is coming. That's very, very, very important, because today's children are very difficult to manage. I have had that thing of handling them from the age of 16 in the colleges what I have worked. And but I think if you learn to talk their language, then it's easy. I'll tell you a small example. In one day, one first year girl came to my room and she said, "Sir, I am in first year BDS. My friends say I'm going steady with one boy in my class. And they also say if my teachers come to know, they'll fail me. Is it true?" Then I told her, in the beginning of orientation, I tell you one thing, don't fall in love and choose your life partner in the first year. And the reason I used to tell them is, next year better ones will come. Why can't you wait? Why do you want to choose now itself? So why did you do that? She said, "Yes, I understand. But now suppose I concentrate on studies, leave everything. Will my teachers look at me with respect?" See, if you leave everything and study, you won't be failed. That much I can give an assurance. But do you know what it is to be respectable for a girl? He said, "I don't know." A girl is respectable only when she remains a mystery. இது இவ்வளவுதான் தெரிஞ்சு போச்சுன்னா மரியாதை கிடையாது. அவ தலையை பிச்சுக்கிட்டு சாகணும். அப்பதான் ஒரு லேடிக்கு வந்து ரெஸ்பெக்ட். She said, "You make me think. I will think and come back." 15 days later, she came back and said, "Sir, I have decided to leave everything." I said, "Very good, start studying." Then my another staff comes to my room and says, "Sir, today one incident happened. One first year boy had drinks, came in the morning to the lab and fainted. It seems love failure." So I had to calm that boy. Then I have to counsel him. There are 100 girls like this. Why are you doing like this? Now, see, today you learn to speak their language. That's very, very important. Only then you can handle them. If you don't know how to speak their language, if you only shout at them, everything. See, I always used to say, when you go home, at a time when your children will be there, from work or whatever, take 10 minutes to decide. My child is at home waiting for me. I will go in the best of my moods. I won't carry everything that happened that day in my office, my stress, my tension. All that you leave it. It's like when you go home, if you have a dog, it'll come fall on you, do this, do that. You spend 10 minutes. After that, the dog will go and mind its own business. But that 10 minutes of connect is very important. If they are big, small, find out what happened in their life. Who are their friends? What happened that day? My son is doing his MS final year in Perio in Ohio. Every day morning I speak to him. Every day night my wife speaks to him. Just to be, with him, to know what is happening, his frustrations, everything. So we have to learn to speak their language.
I was also thinking about people who are in academics. I have a question for me. Should staff be strict with their students?
Yeah. You
And
think right or wrong?
yeah, should teachers be friendly with students or maintain a distance with a strict student-teacher relationship?
Mm.
And also, your words of advice for those who are into academics, since we see a more of the current stream of students seem to be a little indifferent to everything.
Mm. See, what we have to understand is we have to take pity on today's students. They are not in the joint family. Today, the concept of joint family is gone. So somebody the other day was telling me, if husband and wife are together, it's joint family today. Nobody else is needed. Second, so they don't have grandparents. Father and mother working, they have no parents. This is very, very important. You have to understand today. So you don't blame the children as a teacher. My first thing I always will say is, as a teacher, the first person I respect is my student. If my student does not perform, I am not a good teacher, however well I teach. It is my student who makes me see. Today, one of my students is sitting here, Dr. Mohan, who talked to you on class 4 composites day 4 yesterday. And am I not proud to say this is my student? And anytime Mohan sir goes and says, my teacher is Dr. Kandaswamy, we feel good because it is he who can make me a good teacher. You have to understand that first. Number two, I will tell you, even according to Indian Penal Code, if you are less than 18 years, even if you commit a murder, you are never punished. You are not sent to jail. You are sent to a correctional facility. So even legally, when it is like that, you should always be in your mind, never be punitive. You should always be corrective. If you are punitive, then you have destroyed. If you are corrective, the students change. This is my experience with them. And see, Mohan studied under me in the year 1908 to 2000. One call I made, can you come and help me? He's sitting here. Not that he is still that small boy who was my student at my beck and call. No. It is out of love and affection. So respect your students. And I always used to tell my teachers, if a boy or a girl has committed a problem, think what will you do if you are my age, if it is your daughter or son. If you are younger, if it is your sister or brother. Will you punish them? Will you correct them? The answer lies in that.
So thank you, sir. This is Kandaswamy, sir, your student.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing words of wisdom, sir. And you have shared essence of your lifetime. And I have seen your dynamic part, how active, how busy you are in the department, and how refined you are turned up after so many years. It's very nice to see you, sir. And I heard a lot of skeptical or negative comments about our profession among the young professionals.
Yeah.
They are not very comfortable choosing a dentistry. What do you like to share for the young dentist?
Yeah. My son once told me, if any of these youngsters come and tell you that, dentistry is competitive, it's not worth being there. If they're frustrated, tell them only one thing. He said, it is crowded only at the bottom. It's very free at the top. Once you raise yourself a step higher, you leave half the competition behind. That is the most important thing. How distinct in your life you are going to be. That's what that makes the difference today. Tell me which field is not competitive. If you become an advocate, do you mint money? If you become an engineer, do you mint money? There are engineers who draw less than my driver. So it is not that. How you raise yourself a step above. Be a little different from others. Then the world is yours.
Thank you, sir. It's always there's a vacancy at the peak.
Yes, on top it's free.
Yeah, that's right, sir. Johnson, any questions?
சார் சொல்ற ஒவ்வொரு விஷயமும் அப்படியே மைண்ட்ல அத ஃபீல் பண்ணி ஏத்தி இட்ஸ் நைஸ். And another thing I realized from your relationship with Dr. Mohan is you don't get so many students like Dr. Mohan, if I'm right.
No. You get. I like all my students. I don't differentiate.
You thought about him, wanted to help. I have respects for my guy, Dr. Arun sir also. Wherever I go, acknowledge.
Yeah.
So that's very nice to see, sir. I ரொம்ப பார்க்க ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு. Bond you share with your students. Amazing.
Yes.
Anyone else has any questions or anything? If you want to raise your hand, if the host can open it up, maybe directly ask sir himself if you want.
Dr. Narasimhan is on line. Or you want to, Narasimha, you would like to share some of your thoughts?
Yeah, please.
Arul, please unmute Dr. Narasimhan.
Sir, hello?
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening. I am fine. Tell me, sir.
I always tell in all my lectures, sir, there are two people who have actually influenced me as far as whatever I am today. One is Parameshwaran, sir, another is you.
Yeah.
So, ஒரு administration எப்படி பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து we have learned from you. அத வந்து I always remember you telling that, keep your staff in the comfort zone அப்படின்னு சொல்வீங்க ஒரு வார்த்தை.
Exactly.
யாரா இருந்தாலும் அது ஒரு டிரைவரா இருந்தாலும் சரி இல்ல ஒரு அசிஸ்டண்டா இருந்தாலும் சரி, கீப் யுவர் ஸ்டாஃப் இன் தி கம்ஃபர்ட் ஜோன் அப்படின்னு சொல்வீங்க. அந்த கம்ஃபர்ட் ஜோன்ல இப்போ எத்தனை பேர் வச்சிருக்காங்கன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல சார். அத வந்து நீங்க கொஞ்சம் அப்படி சொன்னீங்க.
நம்ம சொல்லதான் முடியும் இல்லையா? Because the comfort zone is important for everybody, isn't it? I have heard staff who are no way academically interested. What is the point in catching them and telling them to do some academic work? They may excel in something else. That's more important, and they'll be more productive.
Yes, sir.
That's important. But if you don't learn that, then you will be a disaster.
சரி, இத வந்து சொல்லும்போது எனக்கு காலேஜ்ல I have one experience, sir. சடனா இப்போ வந்து நான் ஒரு எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸா I was quoting you and telling ஒரு ஸ்டூடண்ட் ஃபைனல் இயர் ஸ்டூடண்ட் எதிர்ச்சி கேட்டா, சார் அப்ப எங்களையும் கம்ஃபர்ட் ஜோன்ல வெச்சீங்கன்னா நானும் நல்லா இருப்போம்ல அப்படின்னு.
In fact, ஒரு தடவை மீனாட்சியில இருக்கும்போது there was one conference, PGs wanted to go, I gave permission. Then one student wanted to find out, he was newly married, whether he can take his wife also along. So he has asked his classmates. They said only chief has to give the permission. So he came to me, sir, for this conference, I need your permission to take my wife with me. I told him, if you want to take my wife only, you need my permission. Why are you asking permission for taking your wife? So, see, we need not make all these things a very big issue. They are not important. They are definitely not. You don't have to squeeze them like that. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That was a really inspiring lecture, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Narasimhan. Thank you. You coming in is a big surprise for me.
I was there for the entire 1 hour from 7 o'clock, sir.
Thank you, Narasimhan sir. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Johnson. Thank you, Kandaswamy.
Yeah, thank you, Narasimhan. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I request our President, Dr. Bhagavati, sir, to say a few words and conclude the meeting.
Sure.
Thanks, Dr. Arul Prakash, Secretary. So thank you, Kandaswamy sir. It was a very nice lecture, and it was a very inner aspect of life that has to be touched. That you taught us, sir, which is very more important. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks to all members for participating. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.